Showtime, my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shogun, and thank you for tuning in. And yeah, recently it was the Crunchyroll 2026 Anime Awards, and I want to compare like the winners of the Crunchyroll Anime Awards to another anime awards, the Anime Trending Award. And they are both a website who did their own award show, and I wanted to compare the winners, because if you want to see my reaction to the winners of the Crunchyroll Awards then separately, and to the Anime Trending Awards separately, there are videos here, so there should be somewhere here you can see the info card. But yeah, I want to compare both of them, because I've always had some issues with the Anime Crunchyroll Awards, because they have only 6 nominees per category, compared to the Anime Trending, they have way more. And I wanted to see would this potentially be any, we will see any different, potentially the amount of nominees doesn't really matter if the outcome would be still the same. But I'm always advocate for different animes having at least a chance to be nominated, because it's a big deal, I think. So I wanted to see compare the categories and the winners and who won. Of course, Anime Trending has some anime categories that is unique to them, which Crunchyroll doesn't have, and Crunchyroll has some anime categories that Anime Trending doesn't have. So I will only look at the anime categories that both each other have, and they have, from my list, 17 categories that sort of overlap. Some of them are a bit iffy, but you get it when I talk about it. So, okay, let's get started. The first one is anime sequence, so anime ending, the ending theme. So we have here on Crunchyroll the best anime ending sequence. And here the winner was My Hero with the nominees. You can see Spy Family, Kaiju number 8, Danada, My Hero Academia, Wonders of Darling, and Solo Leveling. And you can hear they have 6 nominees. And here we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, but 19 nominees. And while Crunchyroll, My Hero Academia won, in Anime Trending, it was My Dress Up Darling, which I think I also personally voted for my Crunchyroll on the Crunchyroll ending sequence. So let's move on. Best anime opening. So we have Dandadan here, Dandadan winning, and then the nominees were Gacha Call of the Night, Dandadan, Solo Leveling, My Hero Academia, and Witch Watch. And here we have a lot. We have 18 anime openings, and there were nominees, and yeah, and here Call of the Night won. So still nothing overlapped. I mean, of course, Call of the Night was also here, so at least it's interesting seeing difference. So anime opening, Dandadan, and here we have Call of the Night. If you go look at soundtrack and score, and yes, like I mentioned, you can see here all the nominees, and then My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle won, and for my Anime Trending it was Apothecary. Wait, yes, it was Apothecary Diaries. Apothecary Diaries won, so still different, but whereas I think all of the nominees that were here. Okay, not all of them. The movies were not mentioned here in the Anime Best Soundtrack. So that's interesting. But yeah, then we have here Apothecary Diaries and Demon Slayer. I would say Demon Slayer. If I had to choose, Demon Slayer wins, of course. But yeah, if you then go next category. Okay, if you look at Best Slice of Life, we have Annie Shirley, Blue Lock, City and the Animation, Frightened of Problem of Dignity, My Dress Up Darling, Spy Family, and yeah, with almost all the same also there. Of course, here Best Slice of Life winner is Spy Family, and here we have, I mentioned Best Slice of Life and Spy Family won, and here we have My Dress Up Darling, which is cool. I mean, for me personally, I can't really say Spy Family because I have not watched season 3 of Spy Family. Then I would have potentially voted. Surprisingly, there's no Fragrant Flower Wins with Dignity here. But yeah, then I would have voted here, then My Dress Up Darling. Fair enough. If we're looking at the Best Drama, Apothecary Diary won, and then we have here for Best Drama, it is Takopi Original Sins here. And yeah, Takopi was also here nominated but didn't win. But yeah, I think, yeah, hands down, Takopi Original Sins should have taken over. The drama on Apothecary Diary is good, I can see people vote for it, but the stuff that happened in Otaku Origins is bonkers. So goodness gracious, not surprising at all. If we're going for action, we have Crunchyroll voted for solo leveling. Yeah, it makes sense because Jinwoo was Beru. Makes a lot of sense. And then here for best action anime, it was My Hero Academia final season. Understandable. I don't know for which one I voted. I would vote. But interesting, as of now, we still don't have one category where they both were the same. And that's really interesting because it shows like two completely different sides, I guess. Now if we go to the next category, comedy, which is interesting because Dan won for comedy. I would not put Dan really as a comedy anime. It has funny moments, right? But it's like One Piece. I wouldn't say One Piece of a comedy anime. Okay, I would say that more comedic stuff happening. But here in comedy, it was Spy Family 1. Spy Family 1 compared to Dan. I mean, almost the same stuff happened. I was surprised, now that it's thinking about it, Grand Blue was not there. Wow! I mean, Grand Blue, ooh. Yeah, Grand Blue is hilarious, but yeah, fair enough. Spy Family 1, so that's fair. Best romance. Pregnant Flower, the winner is for Crunchyroll, Pregnant Flower Blooms with Dignity, and the same thing is also here with Anime Trending. I was also set a Pregnant Flower Blooms with Dignity. Surprisingly, this is the first category we have where both anime awards have the same winner for the same category, which is interesting because most of the same stuff. Okay, not everything was nominated in Crunchyroll was also here by Anime Trending, but it really shows like compared to different animes, it's interesting, I would say, because we see later on you would see that some animes that was even not mentioned on Crunchyroll won some categories here. But yeah, I'm totally happy with Fragrance from Bloom Speak Dignity won the category. It makes sense. My Happy Marriage, oh yeah, I really like it. I mean, there were good animes that would have won, but I'm not mad at it, so that's good. Where this is a bit different because this has best background art and this is best sceneries and visuals. I think they go hand in hand. So here, the nominees are Apothecary Categories, 3D Animation, Dan, Gajakata, Kulon, Generic Romance, and Some Hero Died. So Gajakata won, and here we have surprisingly got Apothecary Diary once for Anime Trends Anime Award. Which I don't really think that the visuals in that anime, Apothecary Diary Season 2, stood out that much. I mean, it has good visuals, sceneries and stuff. But okay, some background art is a bit different. But I would still say I would have voted. Interesting enough, here that even Gajakta is not in one of the categories, so that's interesting, I guess. So I don't know if you can really compare it. But oh well, but I would say it's similar, but interesting that Gajakta was not there, but Apothecary Dies one. I mean, there's other animes, example, Kakabo Original Sins in terms of visual sceneries stood out way more. If you look now for best character design, you've got Gajakta 1, and even there also, oh wow, Gajakta was not there in the nomination, which is interesting. I think Gajakta should have been there for Anime Trends. But yeah, for best character design, Uma Musume won, which is interesting. And also Uma Musume was also not there. I mean, all of the characters are really stood out. It makes really sense for Gajakta to stand out. Yeah, I'm not really mad at it because I think I also have voted for Gajakta for character design because they really stood out and look cool and stuff. But Cinderella, Uma Musume, Cinderella Grey, the character design is also really cool. Yaiba Samurai Legends, I think all of them have really cool character design. Manchester of Darling also with a different cosplay, and it's really cool. Best animation, we have the Solo Leveling, which is not surprising. A1 Pictures did a amazing good job. They should have also credited the animation studio now that I think about it. If you look here, in best animation, the winner for best animation was Also Uma Musume Cinderella Grey. See, this is now gonna get interesting. Solo Leveling was an anime trend there. It was one of the nominations, one of the nominees. And Cinderella and Uma Musume won. While in the Crunchyroll Award, Best Animation, yes, Solo Leveling won, but Uma Musume was not there. So I'm wondering if if Crunchyroll had more nominees. For example, they have only here 6, which is anime Best Animation here has 10 for anime trends. Would Uma Musume potentially won if it was also nominated on the Crunchyroll Award? I don't know. But it's interesting to see that Uma Musume beat Solo Leveling in animation. I mean, if you don't know, you've probably seen a lot of Uma Musume clips when it's compared to other animes where they don't really have that much good animation. But Uma Musume has really amazing animation, especially, I know the animation studio, forgot the name, but they really did amazing work, especially if you know they did Princess Connect Redive, which is beautiful animated. Oh my goodness. And also the same animation studio for Uma Musume is also now going to animate Kaguyabachi, so that's going to be really cool. But yeah, interesting that Uma Musume technically beat Solo Leveling. And now if we look at it, we have Best Original Anime, basically all original screenplay. Is original anime, right? That means it's not necessarily anime that debuted that year, it's but anime that don't have, original anime. It basically means anime that don't come from any source, like adaptation from a manga, light novel, video game, visual novel, books, and anything. So yeah, Lazarus won. That's cool, I guess. And here's Zenshu won. I heard good stuff about Zenshu, but Lazarus, I was not sure heard about it. So yeah, this is interesting. I mean, all of the same animes were here, like Zenshu was here. Okay, Moonrise was not there, but G-Quarks, Mostly Gundam G-Quarks, Lazarus, Demon Beat Break, Apocalypse Hotel. It's interesting that even okay that also was there, is a different that he essentially won compared to Lazarus. Now if you look at movies, film of the year, so this is interesting. You can see you have so many movies here. We have, for example, we have 9 movies, no, 11 movies compared to here to the 5. And surprisingly, while Demon Slayer won, I voted also for Demon Slayer. Here, Uma Musume won again, so we can see in anime trends we have a lot of Uma Musume being there for different categories, and Uma Musume won and beat Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man, which is surprising. All the other movies I heard like semi good stuff. Look back, I heard good stuff. But it's interesting that, for example, again, another anime that was not here in anime trend Crunchyroll Awards beat the same anime that won. Example, here Demon Slayer was there, but Uma Musume won. And I'm wondering now again, if Uma Musume would have been also there for the film of the year, would have potentially won. I don't know, but at least it would be way different now because nominees are different. There's a limited amount of nominees. So if there was more nominees with more different animes, it could have been gone way different. But yeah, Uma Musume, the beginning of the new era, but yeah, Side Game Pictures, really good animation studio, really underrated, I would say. Very good. And if we look now for anime of the year, we have Demon Slayer with all these 6, okay, with the 5 other nominees. In general, it was only 6 animes that would have won. But if you go here, we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. We have 21 animes. 21 anime were nominated for Anime of the Year, which is amazing. I think Anime of the Year is one of the biggest achievements you could say in the anime community. And here it's no surprise that Crunchyroll that My Hero Academia won. Had an amazing season, and it was also the end of My Hero Academia. But if we go back here, there are so many different types of anime, from romance, from action to drama, And here up the down we have drama, action, drama, and also like drama. But there's not really much variety compared to here. We have a romance, drama, action, slice of life, fantasies. So which is really comedy, which is really cool to see. This is one of the biggest problems I have with Crunchyroll. They need to make it at minimum 8, because this would allow so much more for different anime to be nominated, and it's going to be, the results are going to be way more interesting. And here, like I mentioned, as you can see, anime of the year was My Hero Academia, and anime of the year for anime trending was Uma Musume Cinderella Grey. I had good stuff for Uma Musume. Some people might not agree because they can't believe that an anime about horse racing girl would beat other series, example like itself My Hero Academia. Again, it was not nominated here, but it still beat My Hero Academia. So some people might not want to believe that their favorite series, example, was beaten by Cinderella Grey. I don't understand that. Example, that also the talk that people say it should not deserve it be as good compared to other animes because it's just about horse racing girl. And I'm like, why shouldn't it? It's just an anime. Every anime should deserve the best treatment that it gets for the adaptation. And yeah, Uma Musume won and had really good stuff about Uma Musume in general. I finished the first season. I'm on to season 2 right now. Of what I've seen, it's been really good. But I know like the later season, the animation gets way more crazy and more better compared to season 1 and the OVA, and now I'm right now in season 2. But yeah, it's interesting to see. Like I mentioned, Uma Musume was not part of the nominees for anime of Crunchyroll Anime Awards, and the same categories, all of them are also here. I think, yeah, most of them are here, and still, while My Hero Academia was here, it still got beaten by Uma Musume, which is wow. Because Uma Musume, a lot of people would think of it as an amazing as a show because of a horse racing girl, and yeah, which is pretty weird because it's still a really good anime from what I've seen. But yeah, so that's I want just to show like the highlight and difference between the anime, and it was not just clear cut. I think only like few categories we had where both of them had the same winner, but most of them were completely different, which is interesting to see because it doesn't necessarily show that even though with less nominees means we would already have the same amount of same categories won by a particular anime, and having more animes would show like that even the Crunchyroll didn't nominate it would show that, oh wow, okay, that's interesting. It's not that obvious that these particular anime would win. But yeah, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Write down in the comment section below what's your opinion about the winners of anime trends and Crunchyroll. And yeah, like I said, write down your opinion. If you want anything else, write down in the comments below. Example video ideas or any different stuff. Let it light shine bright. May God bless you all. May Jesus bless you all. Hope everything goes well, and peace.